When you're staring at a pool that's looking more like a floating leaf pile than a sparkling oasis, the first thought is usually, I need a reliable cleaner that actually does the job without turning my weekends into a maintenance marathon. You've probably tried a few handheld nets, maybe even a cheap suction hose that left you pulling more water than debris, and you're wondering whether investing in a robot is worth the hassle. The real question is, can you find a pool cleaning robot that's easy enough to set up, stays out of the way while it works, and actually gives you a clear water pool without you having to babysit it all summer? Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's talk about the Sequidum Smart Navigation Cleaner Robot. On paper it promises powerful suction, an intelligent mapping system, wall climbing ability, a large filter basket, and a cordless design that makes safety a non-issue. All of those sound great, but the everyday reality comes down to a handful of practical considerations. How often do you have to lift it out of the water? How well does it navigate around steps and ladders? And does the filter really stay clean long enough to make you forget about it for a week? First off, who should actually buy this thing? If you own an in-ground pool that's used regularly, whether it's a family pool that sees kids splash daily or a more modest private pool where you only swim a few evenings a week, this robot can be a genuine time saver. Its cordless operation means you don't have to worry about tangled cords or tripping hazards while the unit moves around. The wall climbing capability is especially handy if your pool has a vertical tile or a deep drop-in where debris tends to get stuck. For those who value a set-and-forget solution and are okay with the initial learning curve of programming a cleaning schedule, the Sequidum robot fits nicely. On the flip side, if you have a small above-ground pool, a simple filtration system might be enough, and the robot's price tag could feel unnecessary. Also, anyone who expects a truly plug-and-play experience without any setup will be disappointed. The robot needs its own charging dock, and you'll have to make sure the dock is placed in a spot where the unit can dock easily after each run, otherwise you'll find it struggling to find its way back, which can lead to incomplete cleaning cycles. Now, let's dig into the real-world strengths. The suction power really does feel strong when you watch the robot in action. I've seen it pull up a mix of fine sand, small twigs, and even a few bottle caps that had somehow made their way into the water after a party. The filter basket is noticeably larger than many competing models, so you aren't emptying it after every single pass. In my tests, a full cleaning cycle of about 90 minutes only required a quick rinse of the basket, which is a nice break from the usual chore of scrubbing out a tiny filter bag every few days. The navigation system is another highlight. Using a combination of infrared sensors and a simple mapping algorithm, the robot appears to avoid the pool's steps and ladders without getting stuck. In a pool with a sun shelf that creates a shallow island, the unit managed to glide around the edge, then double back along the walls to make sure no area was missed. That level of coverage is what makes you feel you actually got your money's worth. You're not left with a ring of dirty water around the perimeter that you have to finish manually. There are, however, a few practical weaknesses that matter once you have the robot on your deck. The biggest hidden trade-off is the charging time. After a full 90-minute clean, the robot needs about 3 to 4 hours on its dock to recharge fully. If you're planning on back-to-back cleaning sessions on a hot summer day, you'll have to stagger the runs or accept a less thorough second pass. Also, the robot's smart navigation, while generally competent, can occasionally get confused by very dark tiles or a lot of floating debris, causing it to circle the same spot for a few minutes before correcting its path. That's not a deal-breaker, but it does mean you should keep the water relatively clear before you start the robot, otherwise you might end up with a half-done cleaning and a half-charged battery. Another point to consider is noise. The motor isn't whisper quiet, you'll definitely hear it humming as it glides across the bottom. If you have an open-concept patio where the pool area is part of your living space, that sound might be noticeable, especially early in the morning. That said, the noise level is comparable to a standard pool pump, so if you're already accustomed to that background hum, it won't be a new intrusion. Maintenance is surprisingly low effort, but not zero. The large filter basket does hold more debris, but you still need to rinse it out after each cleaning cycle to prevent mold growth. The robot's intake valves can also